this podcast. Every single episode is out of control.
Hey everybody, Bo here. As promised, we're going to give you the recording of the new podcast put out by Becca M and the winner of the Podcachelor, Carrie S. This podcast is called Hollywood Dinner Party, and every week they have celebrities over and they cook for them, and the podcast is all about the celebrities and what they're cooking and how they're cooking it. It's really a fantastic podcast. And without further ado, here it is.
Welcome back to Hollywood Dinner Night. This is Becca, and with me is Carrie.
We are so excited to have you listening tonight. We've got an incredible show in store. Becca, I just want to take a moment to really celebrate how far we've come from the Podcachelor when we first met. I mean, we've had a couple wonderful episodes. If you remember, we had the cast of the OC, the hit MTV show, came back. That was a lot of drama there. Some stars from RuPaul's Drag Race actually came to our dinner party one night. So those are all awesome episodes that you can totally listen to.
I have really enjoyed it. It's been simultaneously delightful and stressful to host celebrities in my home, but I wouldn't have chosen anyone besides you to have as my co-host along this ride.
Oh, Becca, I feel the same way.
Carrie, who do we have this week?
This is actually, I'm so glad you asked. This is going to be an incredible episode, not only for you and I, but for basically anybody who was alive in the 90s. We've got the Seinfeld cast reuniting in our dining room this week on this episode. So we've got Jason Alexander, we've got Julia Louis-Dreyfus, we've got Michael Richardson, we've got Jerry Seinfeld, none other, and then also even maybe a surprise visit from Larry David. So it's all going to be happening right here on this episode.
Real quick, Carrie, who are these people?
So Jerry Seinfeld obviously is the star of the show, being that it is named after him. Really, I guess the premise of the show, it's really all about nothing, and they sort of just have these, fun, crazy adventures. And then the rest of those people are just, supporting actors and actresses. However, this is going to be so incredible because they haven't really been together since the filming of the last episode, which truly was decades ago. So, it's going to be absolutely amazing to have them, and I can't wait to decide what we're going to cook for them.
Oh man, I'm definitely nervous because I don't feel like I know who any of these people are, so I'm really going to have to lean
Becca,
on your
you
expertise.
Do. You remember Jerry Seinfeld from the Bee movie, the voice of
Was he the bee?
Bee. Yeah, he was the bee.
Okay, I know him.
Yeah, Jason Alexander was also featured in Pretty Woman. I don't know if you remember that. He's short, stocky, kind of balding. I think
Is he the guy that pinches Julia Roberts' ass at the polo thing?
Absolutely. Jason Alexander's was.
Oh, he's kind of a dick.
Well, I don't disagree with you, but I think the more drama the better when they're here. And also you might recognize Julia Louis-Dreyfus from The Veep. I think that's a pretty successful show that she has.
Didn't she steal Tina Fey's Emmy one time?
Yeah, that we can definitely bring that up at dinner. I think that might be really good fodder for conversation. But of course we want to keep it light. We want to keep it, easy breezy with everybody, because it is going to be a fantastic reunion with everybody.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to it. So, what are we going to cook for them?
Becca, I never thought you'd ask. Actually, I have no idea. What do you suggest?
Well, first question that I think is always super important to ask when we have these dinner parties is, does anyone have any kind of dietary restriction, whether it's allergies or choices?
Yes, absolutely. As far as I know, I think Michael Richardson is gonna go ahead and be vegan. And I think, we don't know for sure if Larry David's coming. That's going to be a surprise for listeners and for us. I think we can go ahead and say that he's going to take the liberty of being gluten free. So, I mean, we can modify recipes.
Okay. All right. Vegan and gluten-free. Man, we're going to have to be really creative with this menu.
I mean, we've done it before, and I think we can definitely do it again.
Okay. My first thought is like steak. Oh, wait,
Nice.
that's not vegan.
Oh, you're right. I was going to say really wow them, but maybe like instead of a steak, maybe do like a cauliflower that is sliced in a certain way to make it look like a steak.
We could do that. We could do mushrooms, like big portobello mushrooms, and like grill those maybe.
Even better, yeah. With a really cool sauce, maybe like a vegan chipotle mayo type situation.
Ooh, I'd like where this is heading.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely need some kind of starch, but we can figure that out as we get in the kitchen.
I totally agree. I think this is a good starting point.
All right, Carrie, let's get started.
All right, so first up, we have to preheat our oven to, I would say, about 250. Just let that sizzle for a little while, and then we have to get our pan out. Now, our main dish is going to be those portobello mushrooms, Becca, that you were talking about.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, so first I have to real quick go gather some of those from the garden. So you just kind of get in there, do a little chopping, and I'll just go gather some mushrooms from outside.
Okay, great. Enjoy your mushroom foraging.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
I think I need to think about our sides, and I also need to come up with some sauce. I don't know what goes well with mushrooms that also a vegan person and a gluten-free person would eat. I don't know what gluten is, so let's just make some quinoa. Okay, so I want it to taste meaty so that this mushroom, even though it
All right,
is
Becca,
vegan,
I'm back. I found these mushrooms in the back of my apartment. They're not really portobellos per se, but I think it's going to be totally fine.
I'm sure it'll be totally safe. I'm sure we won't, either trip out or die. I'm sure it'll be totally fine.
You know what we should do? Do you remember what we did when Britney Spears was here a couple weeks ago, and we sort of made like a sort of a sauce that we sort of involved like Sour Patch Kids in? Do you remember that?
Oh my gosh, I totally remember. We should definitely do that, but this time I have a little bit of Gatorade in the fridge, and I think that would really bring out the tartness in the Sour Patch Kids.
Yes, of course. Okay, so that's going to be our sauce, I think. Now, do we have anything for sides?
So I was thinking maybe like quinoa and trying to make it taste like meaty somehow.
Ooh, go for it. Love it.
We could do, you know how people drink bone broth for like their digestive system? I think I might have some bone broth in the back of my fridge. I'm sure it hasn't gone bad. I bought it like 3 years ago, but I'm sure it's not bad.
No,
I could add that to the quinoa.
Yeah, that's made to last. I feel like Larry David's really, really gonna enjoy that.
Oh, I'm so excited. Okay,
also, so Jerry Steinfeld, we have to think like what sort of things he likes to, like being that he was in the Bee movie. I mean, do you
want to add some honey?
I was gonna say, is it too sort of cliche?
You know what we should do? So we'll have our quinoa and we'll put the portobello mushroom on top because, we like to cook major chefs over here. We could just put a straight up honeycomb on top of the mushroom. I think you might like that.
I'm into it. Super modern plating, taking a lot of risks. I love it.
Yeah, I think Jason Alexander really, really likes modern plating.
Absolutely. He told me that the other day, actually, when we were emailing about this podcast. He said if it's not on a piece of wood that you salvaged from the sea, he said he would leave. So.
Oh, well, that's perfect. I have 5 pieces of driftwood hanging out in the front room right now. So I'll just go grab those real fast.
That is why you're the best podcast host. So yeah, while she's grabbing those, I'm thinking like we have to get out ahead of dessert. Like what kind of things might they like?
Okay, I'm back. And I was thinking, okay, we have our entree down. What are we going to do about dessert?
I was just thinking that. I know that they're all pretty like severely overweight. So I want to kind of lean into that. Definitely pack on the calories. Maybe do like a cookie skillet with some ice cream, like you can get at Chili's.
Should we add like a funnel cake on top of that?
Wow, yes, I like where this is going.
I just
Kind
feel
of
like the more
smothered in
powdered
chocolate.
sugar, the better.
Yes.
Like if it is not a choking hazard, you haven't put enough powdered sugar on there.
I couldn't agree more. So I think that's, where I'll get started. And then we can sort of meet in the middle, and then hopefully we'll get some of this done before they get here. I mean, I know when Jason Derulo was here, we were just like scrambling to finish before he came in. So
for sure. I feel like our time management is only getting better episode to episode. So I know you can do it.
I think you're exactly right. All right, well, let's get started.
All right, Carrie, is our food almost ready?
Ding!
And now we're cooking with fire, Becca.
Oh man, it looks so good, Carrie.
I agree. I think, like our minds and creativity really came together on this. And I think we're actually going to wow the pants off of the entire Big Bang Theory cast.
Oh man, I'm so excited. Should we pivot the table a little bit to make room for them?
Yes, I love that thinking. Let's really open this space up. Okay, I'll come over here and grab this end.
Okay. All right. Pivot.
All right. Pivot.
Pivot.
Pivot. Pivot.
Pivot.
Becca, I'm pivoting.
Pivot.
I'm pivoting as best I can, Becca.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, Carrie. I'm just like very stressed out that the cast of Friends is reuniting in our dining room.
No, please. Becca, I understand. I'm just really excited for them to get here. I'm excited for them to see our dessert, all the little things that we did just for them, and I think they're really gonna like it.
I think so too. I'm really nervous because I just saw headlights pull into the driveway, so I think we might have our first guest here in a second.
Oh my gosh, how do I look?
You look incredible.
Okay, I was really hoping you would say that.
Ding dong! Well, that's the whole show. We hope you enjoyed it. So long.